On May 25, 1961, President John F. Kennedy stood before Congress and issued one of the most ambitious challenges in human history. I believe that this nation should commit itself to achieving the goal, before this decade is out, of landing a man on the moon and returning him safely to the Earth.
I believe that this nation should commit itself to achieving the goal, before this decade is out, of landing a man on the moon and returning him safely to the Earth.
That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
It was more than a mission, it was a message. The moon wasn't just a barren rock in the sky. It became a geopolitical prize in the Cold War, a symbol of technological dominance, and possibly something far more mysterious. Because by the time the United States and the Soviet Union turned their gaze toward the lunar surface, someone or something might have already been there.
That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Chapter 1. Silence on the Far Side. In July 1969, while the world celebrated Neil Armstrong's iconic first step, one man stayed behind in orbit. Michael Collins, the forgotten astronaut of Apollo 11, remained in the command module, circling the moon alone. For 47 minutes on every orbit, he passed beyond the moon's far side, completely out of radio contact. No Earth, no astronauts, just silence. Or not quite. Collins later described hearing strange, otherworldly sounds in his headset. NASA dismissed it as radio interference, but Collins said had he not been briefed, it would have terrified him. Oddly enough, the Apollo 10 crew also reported hearing similar whistling music from the far side.
That is music even sounds outer spacey, doesn't it? Do you hear that whistling sound?
Long before Apollo 11 arrived. Chapter 2, what did they see? While Michael Collins orbited alone, Armstrong and Aldrin were down on the surface, completing their historic mission. But there's a detail most people don't know. Transcripts from a mission suggest that during their time on the moon, the astronauts may have seen something watching them. Official NASA recordings contain a 2-minute blackout in communications. But leaked transcripts fill in the blanks, suggesting that Armstrong and Aldrin saw structures on the edge of a crater. Something intelligent, lined up, observing. NASA has never confirmed this. Chapter 3. The Gifts We Left Behind. The Apollo 11 astronauts famously planted an American flag, but they left behind something else, something not broadcast on live TV. A small white pouch containing a golden olive branch and a silicon disc. Etched onto the disc were messages from 73 world leaders, wishes of peace and unity. Why bring messages of peace to an empty, lifeless rock? Unless it wasn't empty. Chapter 4. Whistleblowers and Warnings. In 1965, Airman Carl Wolf was working with a top-secret NASA imaging team, processing photographs from the Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter. While repairing a piece of equipment, another technician casually told him, "We've discovered a base on the far side of the moon." Wolf was shown several photographs, images of structures, towers, and spherical buildings that seemed undeniably artificial. Mushroom-shaped buildings, massive towers. He thought it would make the news. It didn't. Wolf realized he had been exposed to something NASA didn't want the public to know. Years later, he came forward, willing to testify before Congress. He never got the chance. Wolf died in 2018, hit by a truck while biking near his home. The case remains unsolved. Chapter 5. Scrub Clean. Donna Hare, a former contractor with NASA, had secret-level clearance while working with photo labs. One day, a technician showed her a lunar photograph with an eye casting a shadow. When she asked what it was, he smiled and said, "We always airbrush these things out before they're released to the public." UFOs? Structures? Hare claimed there was a protocol in place to erase any sign of anomalies from space photos. And she wasn't the only one saying so. Doctor Ken Johnston, who managed Apollo mission photo archives, also claimed NASA ordered the destruction of images that showed strange ruins, domes, towers, even possible alien machinery. Johnston refused. He kept some of the photos and went public years later. Shortly after, he was dismissed from any future NASA walk. Chapter 6. The military knew. This wasn't just a NASA secret. The military seemed to know too. Major Robert Dean, a U.S. Army intelligence officer, claimed that NATO had an internal report detailing recovered alien bodies and spacecraft. Dean also said that during the Apollo missions, 40 rolls of film were removed, never to be seen again. These rolls allegedly showed enormous structures on the moon and unknown objects tailing the Apollo spacecraft. He specifically referenced the Landsberg crater, where NASA instructed astronauts to focus their cameras. The reason? Rumors of ongoing construction inside the crater. Dean claimed photos showed massive facilities and even ships the size of cities. Chapter 7. The Zond Object. In 1994, the Clementine lunar orbiter took over 2 million photos of the moon's surface. When these were released to the public, something strange was noticed. Many photos had blurred or blacked out sections. One area, the Zond crater, had several images where something was clearly being censored. When different images were layered and enhanced, a massive object emerged. What some believe is a giant spacecraft. Not just one object either. In some enhanced images, it looks like there are two, suggesting a fleet. These aren't internet hoaxes. These are raw images taken directly from NASA archives before they were taken offline. Chapter 8. Giants and Shadows. Other anomalies continue to emerge over the years. Mile-high towers casting impossible shadows, pyramid-like formations, enormous footprints that didn't match any known cratering pattern. Skeptics say it's all just pareidolia, our minds seeing patterns in random shapes like faces and clouds. But can every anomaly really be brushed off so easily? Even China's lunar rover captured a strange cube-shaped structure in 2021 dubbed the Mystery Hut. NASA's explanation? A boulder. Of course. Chapter 9. A secret agreement? The last manned moon mission was Apollo 17 in 1972. The U.S. had plans for more missions, Apollo 18, 19, even 20, but they were all canceled abruptly. Around the same time, the Soviet Union quietly ended their lunar program. Two rival superpowers. One common decision: stop going to the moon. Why? It's hard to believe these two enemies would abandon such a monumental endeavor unless something, or someone, forced them to. Chapter 10. Who's really in control? If the moon is occupied, or was, then who, or what, is in control? Some theories suggest an ancient alien civilization left behind technology, maybe even surveillance systems. Others believe the moon is still being used, either as a base, an outpost, or something else entirely. A few researchers have gone so far as to propose that the moon isn't even a natural satellite at all, that it's an artificial structure, a cosmic observatory placed in perfect orbit to monitor Earth. It sounds like science fiction until you realize how little we truly understand about our only natural satellite. The moon is almost too perfect. Its size, its distance, its gravitational effect on tides and life itself. It even rang like a bell when struck by equipment during the Apollo missions, a strange resonance that scientists have struggled to explain. Add to that decades of canceled missions, whistleblower warnings, altered photos, and official silence, and you're left wondering, have we been lied to, or are we just not ready for the truth? Final thoughts. So what do we really know? We know astronauts heard unexplained sounds. We know NASA has lost or destroyed critical recordings and photos. We know whistleblowers have come forward, some risking everything. We know many of their claims remain unverified, but not entirely discredited. Is there a hidden presence on the moon? Have we been warned not to return? Or are these just the imaginings of people desperate for mystery? Maybe one day we'll go back and find out for ourselves. Until then, we're left with secrets, shadows, and silence on the far side of the moon.